Okay, this is a twosome. I'm going to play the silver tee. New blood. I'll try to sit still so the camera tracks it good. Two old guys. We got a back pin today, so that's about 155, 160 yard shot to a back pin. I think these guys probably, the most club they could hit as far as loft is probably a 5 or a 6 iron for them. Lots of guys that come up to this tee for a 160 yard shot are hitting drivers or fairway woods. This hole was set up for a mortar shot. It was set up for a high lofted club. When you put the flag all the way back, they have to hit at least 160 yards to get it there, and most people haven't got a lofted 160 yard club in the bag. They got to hit driver, or they got to hit a fairway wood or whatever to get it there. And once it gets there, because it's not a lofted shot with a lot of backspin, it hits the green right in line with the pin and rolls by the pin at 90 miles an hour and goes back into the harbor behind the pin, which starts a posse, a manhunt. You can't believe how much time golfers can spend looking for that ball when you put the pin in the back on the weekend. You just clogged up everything. It's like you took the garbage disposal and tried to put 2 cabbage heads down through it, all right, and 3 bunches of celery. You got so much backup because you put the pin back there. Every group that goes up to the 6th green all day long, if they miss in the bailout area to the north of the green, they still got to get it like 25 or 30 yards, 40 yards back to that pin. A lot of guys don't have that shot. A lot of young kids don't have this shot. They come out here, all they know how to do is hit the ball long. They've never taken a short lesson. Ever since they've been playing golf, nobody's ever taught them how to chip, pitch, putt, strategy around the green. They don't know. All they know how to do is play the long ball. They want to be able to say, I hit the green from 160 yards away and I put it near the pin. That happens maybe 1 out of 25 times for a lot of golfers. The rest of the time, they're stinking up the place. They're hitting 2 or 3 balls off every tee. And when they get down to the green, they've never played small ball. What do you do with a player that's a great hitter, but he can't field? He doesn't know how to run. He doesn't know how to steal a base. He doesn't know how to play the infield, and he doesn't know how to play the outfield. He's your designated hitter. That's what we have for golfers out here. They're all designated hitters. They have no short game. They spend 4 or 5 shots coming off the long tee over there because 3 go in the lake, or they don't like the 4th one, and they'll finally hit a 5th one, and then they have to go up and chase all these balls. If they hit the first 3 in the lake by the shoreline, they're down there fishing the balls out. What that is doing is slowing pace of play. If you're on a weekend and you got a heavy booking, say you've got 250 solid bookings for the weekend, never, never, never put that pin in the back. Move everything up. You should, every day that you put that pin in the back, you should move the tees up. Every day that the pin goes to the back of the tees should be moved up. All of them. To give the people more loft. What you've done is taken and de-lofted. They couldn't hit a lofted club before. The way you had it set up, with the middle of the green or up front, they still have to hit fairway woods to get to the green. These old guys. And these are silver tees. I'm trying to remind you, you got a silver tee today that's 160 yards to the pin. And right behind the pin is nothing but 10, 15-minute searches with every group for the ball behind there, because you're putting the pin back there, and all the people that are shooting for the pin on their second and third shots, when they run it by the pin and it goes down in the back in that steel wool grass, they're back there and all their friends are back there helping them find the ball. Now, on a weekend when you sell 250 rounds and you got 250 rounds on the books, move that pin right up next to the bailout area. Okay, move it up where it's easy to get to, and then move all the tees up so you don't have any bottlenecks on this hole. When the people get up here, they can reach the green easily. They put the ball on the green, or they put it in the bailout area. They got a little chip and putt, and they're out of there. To put that pin in the back on the weekend when you have a busy day is, you've just crippled the field, especially out here in Buckeye, because we don't have marshals here. What's the definition? What's a marshal? A marshal helps guide or shepherd the flock around this 18 holes. Okay? A marshal should be out here observing all day long, especially on the busy days, what groups are holding up play. What groups are stinking up the place. Which group is hitting too many balls off the tee, and which group has no skills around the green. That marshal should go up and tell this group in a nice way. He should be skilled diplomat, and the golfers should understand. It should be on the scorecard that if you can't keep up with play, you will be asked to move up. It should be on every scorecard. If you can't keep up with pace of play and you're stinking up the place, then we suggest you move up. That'll never happen here. And I get it from my neighbors, I get it from every golfer, anybody that walks along my property line as a golfer, a neighbor, a pedestrian from the street, a complete stranger. When they're walking down my line, x-raying my property, metering it, what we call in Japanese, I was stationed in Japan, so they meter my property for 90 feet. They get right on the other side of my property line. They walk slowly, looking for balls and looking for anything on my property. I don't like it. And for the golf course to say, well, you bought a house on a golf course. You have to put up with this. And I have to put up with strangers who I see walk on my property all the time. So how do I know when a person's going to walk onto my property? I see them coming up the hill at lickety-split after they've hit a ball in my yard. They're coming up the hill and they're not looking on the course. They're looking in my yard all the way up. And just before they start stepping over my plants, I come out of the house and I go, where are you going? You can't say anything to me. I'm still on property. I haven't walked on your land yet. You had all the intention in the world to walk on my property to get that ball. If I hadn't walked out here, you'd be between my house right now picking up your ball and any balls you found between, all right? And I have to deal with this day in and day out. This is called human chafing. This is called golf chafing, all right? Golf rash. This is the rash you have when you live on a golf course. You have to be here. They can walk on your property. They can destroy your property. I'm sitting out here right now at my own risk. If this was a busy Sunday where there was cart after cart, there I've seen it here where you've got 3 people, 3 sets of golfers. That'll mean like 6 carts. You'll have 8 carts over in that corner. 2 carts will be for the foursome that's playing the 5th green. 2 carts will be the foursome that just got done playing the 5th green. The next 2 carts will be the foursome waiting for the foursome on the tee. Who's waiting for the foursome on the green? Who's stinking up the place? They each hit 4 balls off the tee. They have no short game. Now they spent all day and they've got their back completely turned to the field. They don't even look back at the tee, and when you get back at the tee, there's 4 groups, 8 carts waiting on that tee box on a busy day because there's no marshal here to tell these people to move up. Move along. You're stinking up the place. Skip a couple holes. I'm ordering you right now, if you want to play these tees, move up a couple holes. Give the field a break. You're supposed to always be protecting the field. And you're not protecting the field when you let a bunch of idiots, moron, young, West Valley high school golfers out here that are just grip and rip all day. They're playing tees, they're punching over their weight all day long. They're punching over their weight. By the time they get to the 6th tee, they've broken 6 windows. All right, nobody said a word to them. There's no marshal out here to say move along or we've been watching you. You can't even get off the tee. You haven't, not one of you have got off a tee successfully in one shot for 5 holes. Move up. You don't have the skill to play this course. This is a tight course. We're trying to protect the membership here. We're trying to protect the field. We're trying to protect the field as far as pace of play, and we're trying to keep some goodwill with our neighbors who live here on the course. They don't like people walking in their yard because they're playing grip and rip all day and punching over their weight. And you don't know how to score. That's the worst part of it. When you finally do get to the green, you have no skills on the green. You have no etiquette skills. You don't know how to pace the play. The thought of pace of play, you think you're in the PGA on television. You think you're the PGA on television that you can take all day to line up a putt. I've said this on other videos, but I've seen it. I've seen these kids go down there and hit the ball back and forth across the green 5 or 6 times, and they're playing their 4th ball off the tee, and finally when they get a 12-foot putt, they're finally within 12 foot of the hole, they take all afternoon to line up that putt. You'd think they were Jim Furlick. Talk about fastidious. Lining up that putt, they got 4 groups on the tee waiting for them, and they're taking their time putting that ball. They're putting for a 12 or a 13 or something like that if you were to keep score. That's what I'm talking about, stinking up the place, and that's why you need marshals here. You don't have them. You're not going to throttle these people back at all. You're just going to let them come out here with the tribal knowledge that you can walk up to anybody's property anytime you want. You can walk onto their property and get your ball. Nobody will say anything. By the time the police get here, and I've done it myself, I got 2 guys that walked onto my property one day. I called the police. Nothing's ever come of it. I had to have the policeman here for an hour with a camera on me taking a video of me, and then he had to go to the golf shop, and by then these guys were long gone. And when he got to the golf shop said, well, yeah, people walk in people's yards because they don't think anybody's home. It's all snowbirds out here. And we don't really say anything about it. It isn't the golf course. They don't see the golf course's job as to police golfers and keep them out of people's yards. There's no signs on any tees. There's nothing really on the scorecard except a vague, ambiguous, we won't tolerate trespass. What's that mean? What's not tolerate trespass? He came up about 40, he didn't even make it to the green. He hit that bank just in front of the green. Right in line with the pin, but he hit the bank. Now, I'm sitting here at my own risk. If this guy has any kind of a mental fart, which often happens off tees, I'm in range and downrange. If this guy has a senior moment, a mental fart, a loss of focus at impact. I'm 40 yards away. He's trying to hit a pin 160 yards away, and I'm 40 yards away. I'm 40 yards sitting away from him at my own risk, and that's what the golf club, that's what the pro shop, they're accepting, they're willing to put that risk onto me. It doesn't bother us that you're risk. It doesn't bother us that you have risk sitting in your chair out there. And the golf shop's idea is nobody ever sits out in their yard. Nobody sits out in the yards where it's a landing area. You've made my lot a landing and recovery area. My lot is out of bounds. You don't have an out of bounds. You're using my lot for out of bounds. That lady just hit a nice shot. She put it on the green. So I'm making this video so that everybody understands the rules of the road when you buy a house on a golf course in Arizona. Okay? Their idea of goodwill with their neighbors, that golf course, what they consider me as a neighbor is, I'm subject to their golf course. I have to sit here and watch young golfers walk down my property line, metering, reconnoitering my properties, looking at everything. If they see something they don't like, they can run back to the pro shop or call up the HOA and say, I don't like what I saw on his patio. His patio looks cluttered. Okay? They don't belong up here. They don't belong up here. Those white stakes don't belong up here. You say it's playing, they can play right up to the white stakes. Well, they don't play up to the white stakes here. About 1 out of 10 people play it off the rocks up here. When they come up here to these white stakes, they recover their ball, they take it down to the grass, and they play it again. They don't want to hit it off the rocks. And if I'm here, I advise them. I tell them, why ruin your club? Take it down there. Drop it down on the green. So if it's going to be a place where you come up and get your ball, how about getting these stakes off my property line? Huh? All you're doing is you're being the 900-pound gorilla. You're being the schoolyard bully. You're being a schoolyard bully. You're giving every young golfer from 180 yards away over there the opportunity to miss to the right up here. Go ahead, grip and rip, and if you miss offline, you got landing area and play area all the way up to that guy's property line. And if you should happen to hit the ball on his lot, nobody's going to say anything to you if you step over and get his ball. And if he reports it to the police, it'll be 2.5 hours of bureaucratic bullshit with a policeman before the policeman will ever get to finding out. And that policeman really don't want to know. When he walks into that pro shop, he's not there to get answers. He's going through the motions. He don't give a shit. Nobody does. This is assault. This is encroachment. This is an encumbrance that's on my lot. I'm being drafted. This is white slavery. I can't have friends, family, children out here without every tee shot being in range and downrange in every tee shot. And the golf course, the HOA, the town, the mayor, and everything expects me as a private citizen who owns this lot that I should have to put up with this day in, day out. That I should have to put up with golfers walking on my property, playing over their head, and a golf course that's got this thing out of proportion. Take these white stakes about 25 feet toward the lake and the cart path. Narrow that corridor of failure that they can have. All you've done by putting these white stakes up, it's given them a corridor of failure. You can be as sloppy as you want on this hole because you got all that bailout area all the way up to his lot. You're real classy. Give this place some decorum, will ya? Show some respect for your neighbors. Act like a civil neighbor. This isn't civil. It isn't civil for you to point tee boxes at, so every time some mediocre golfer that don't know how to play golf, doesn't know any etiquette, and he's from the West Valley. He goes 6 generations back in Buckeye. There ain't a place in Buckeye he ain't afraid to walk. Nobody's going to tell me I can't walk any place in Buckeye. Now, if that guy owns that lot up there and he pays dues and taxes on it, too bad. He bought a house on a golf course. He's got to put up with me walking on his lot. Okay, now we got the long tees. Let's see what these guys are going to do, how many balls they hit. There we go. Now, he's about 100 yards away from me, 90 or 100 yards away from me, and just about, I'm not quite 90 degrees, probably 75-degree angle, a 75, 80-degree angle. And last week, 2 weeks ago, a guy hit one right over my head where I'm sitting. He hit it right in the lake, okay? He hit it in the lake. Now he's going to walk down to his cart and get another ball. This is what I'm saying about rookie golfers. He's going to walk down to his cart and get another ball. Why? Because he didn't have a ball in his pocket. He thought he was going to make that shot. He's going to grab another ball and walk up there because he was so cocky he was going to make that shot. He didn't even bother to have another ball in his pocket. This is what slows play. This is what I'm telling you, slows play. You get rookies that don't even know to have a second ball in their pocket. They come out here thinking that I'm gonna destroy this course. The second golfer did the same thing. The second golfer didn't have an extra ball. He had to walk back to his thing. So these are brand new golfers. They're not experienced golfers with wisdom. If you tried to talk golf etiquette or golf thing like that, so this is his second shot. All right, so we've got 3 golfers, and so far this is the 4th shot out of 3 golfers. Three golfers, 5 shots. So that's 5 risks that I had to absorb, that this lot went through. A mathematical risk, a mathematical probability that I could be hit from there. This guy right now, all he has to do is have a mental fart on a way to impact where he opens up the club face or he misses. You see what I'm saying, where they're backing up the field? Every one of them now has hit 2 shots. They got wide open in front of them. And every one has wasted time on the tee hitting 2 shots. Look at that shot. Does that look like a pro finish to you, Andy? Huh? Should he have held that finish? This is Sandlot Golf. They got a group right behind them now that's going to wait on the tee for them, and they're probably not going to have the skill to play this hole. All right, if they shoot one past that pin that goes back in that harbor back there in the back, it's going to take them 10 minutes, 15 minutes to play the hole. I think I've said enough now. I'm going to end it right now, but typical Sunday morning here at Sandlot Golf. White trash golf, in-your-face golf, encroachment golf, Assault golf. This is assault. Why is it assault? Because I've been here 15 years. I've seen every bad shot there is can be. I've seen about 150 bad shots. And I've gone round and round with probably about 10 or 15 golfers, maybe more, that every time they're walking down looking at my property, I challenge them, what are you doing looking in my lot for your ball? And you know what their response is? Always, I'm not on your property. I'm on golf course. I can stand here all day long if I want. I can stand here and look at your house and your yard all day long as I want. Basically, that's what they're telling me. This is redneck golf, white trash golf, schoolyard bully golf, free roaming golf, what's in your wallet golf. Thank you for listening. Happy Sunday morning.